You know that constant voice in your head? The one that's always commentating, judging, and narrating everything you do? Well, what if I told you that voice isn't actually you? Let's dive into that.
Now, the concepts we're exploring today come straight from an incredible source, Chapter 28 of Dr. Michael Lukens' book, The Physics of Emotioning. We're going to unpack his really powerful take on who we think we are versus who we really are.
So let's just start with the absolute biggest question, the one that frames this whole journey. Who is that voice? Is it the one in the driver's seat, the core of your being? Or is it something else?
To get our heads around this, let's use a fantastic analogy. Imagine you have two selves. First, there's the driver. That's your experiencing self. It's totally silent, lives completely in the present moment. And then you've got the back seat driver. That's your narrating self, the talking head that's always going on about the past and the future. Okay, let's get a little more specific. In the book, Dr. Lukens gives these two selves names, the I and the me. So first, there's the I. This is your experiencing self. It's that silent observer that exists only in the here and now. It doesn't use words, it just is. The I is where the action really happens. It's the raw, unfiltered experience of life.
And then there's the me. This is your storied self. Think of it as the character you create using language, a story about your past and your future. It's not the action itself, but the story about the action.
And this really gets to the core of the problem. The source warns us that if you mistake the reporter, the voice, for the real you, you're constantly confusing effect with cause. The narration is the effect, it comes after the experience. The silent I is the cause.
So, if our narrator is just reporting on things, how do we actually interact with the world around us? Well, this leads to another huge shift in thinking. It turns out we don't just live in the world, we actively create the reality we experience.
You've probably heard the famous Roman motto, Veni, Vidi, Vici. I came, I saw, I conquered. This paints a picture of the world as this external thing that you have to act on and conquer.
But the source suggests a much more accurate motto for us humans. Veni, Vidi, Definio. I came, I saw, I defined. See, our main action isn't conquering the world. It's assigning meaning to it. We define what everything means to us. So how does this actually work? It's pretty simple. First, the I has a raw, direct experience. Then, the me, our inner narrator, jumps in and packages that experience with words and meaning. And just like that, that definition becomes your subjective reality.
The source brings up a quote from the psychiatrist Thomas Sawes that just hits the nail on the head. In the human kingdom, the law is define or be defined. The message is so clear. If you don't consciously define your own experiences, you can be sure the world will do it for you.
Now this is where it gets really complex, because this whole defining process doesn't just happen with the outside world. Oh no, we do it to our inner world too. And in doing so, we often start a hidden war inside our own minds. Just think about this for a second. Have you ever felt angry and then immediately felt ashamed for being angry? Or maybe you felt sad and then got frustrated with yourself for being sad. This is a really strange but very human thing to do. There's a name for this. It's called second-order emotioning. It's when we have an emotional reaction to our own primary feelings. It's that extra layer of judgment or fear or shame that our narrator, the me, slaps on top of the raw experience of the I. I mean, just look at these examples. Fearing your own anger, hating your own sadness, being ashamed of your fear. This is where so much of our internal struggle comes from, right? It's often not the first feeling that causes the most pain. It's our reaction to that feeling. It's the narrator telling us we shouldn't feel that way.
And what's the result? We build what's called a defense boundary. We try to wall off the emotions our narrator has labeled as bad, which leads to this constant, absolutely exhausting internal battle to control our own direct experience.
Okay, so if we're constantly fighting ourselves and getting lost in the narrator's stories, how do we find a way out? We need a new compass, right? One that guides our authentic self, not the storyteller. And Dr. Lukens offers us a new compass, a really powerful definition of love. He calls it Committed Benevolent Interest, or CBI for short. And this isn't love as some fleeting feeling. It's a conscious choice, a way of being. Let's break that down. Committed means it's enduring, consistent. Benevolent means you're wishing well for the other. You have empathy. And interest is a genuine desire to know and understand. It's an active, ongoing process.
What's so amazing is that this form of love, CBI, is presented as the very foundation of our social and moral nature. It's what makes true empathy possible. It's the reason we feel responsible guilt when we hurt someone, or profound grief when we lose them. It's literally the glue that connects us.
Because without a compass like CBI, what are we left with? We're just trapped in the narrator's chaotic story. Shakespeare nailed this feeling of despair perfectly in Macbeth. Life's but a walking shadow, a tale told by an idiot full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. That's the world of the me, when it's completely cut off from the I.
But this brings us all the way back to the core idea. Beneath all that noise, all that chatter from the narrator, lies the unspeakable self. This is the true experiencing I. It's who you are before the story even begins.
So I want to leave you with one final, crucial thought to take with you. If that constant narrator in your head, the one telling all the stories, finally went silent, who would be left?